Hey, how you doing? I'm Short with FreeMMOStation, and today we're doing a review on Hawken, which is a first-person shooter mech game published by Meteor Entertainment and developed by Adhesive Games. So this game is actually a really exciting review for me. I'm really glad I got to play this game. I've been playing it since alpha, actually, and I've been having a lot of fun. I just want to really give a true review to the game so I can help build the community and also just kind of share this game with everyone because it's a great free-to-play game. It's an awesome contribution to the genre, and it's just really unique, and it's gorgeous too. So this is my review, and thank you for watching.
FreeMMOStation.com.
Okay guys, so first things first, let's talk about the graphics. And yeah, this has already won a lot of awards for the graphics, how it looks, how it plays and everything, but yes, it just looks like there's so much detail in the game, and there's so much art to it, and there's so much effort poured into every inch of the maps. It just seems incredible, and yeah, it's gonna take a lot to run the game. If you have an enthusiast gaming build, you're gonna run it, you're gonna enjoy the game to its maximum potential. It looks great, feels great, and everything. But if you have a low-end gaming machine, so let's say I have a MacBook Pro. I was actually able to play this game on my MacBook Pro at low settings, and it was playable. So if you have this like a sort of medium spec PC, you're gonna be able to play this game and have fun. But low-end gaming, it's a little bit iffy there. This is really meant for enthusiast builds for like big gaming machines, and you're gonna have a lot of fun if you have a big rig. So yes, the graphics are amazing, and then the particle effects, all that, the art, and let's talk about the uniquity of the lore, the setting of the game. It's post-apocalyptic, and it's really dirty looking. Everything looks really rustic, and the mechs are kind of ugly, but in a kind of cool kind of way. Everything is sort of thrown together, almost steampunky, and it really has this nice aesthetic to it that I just need to mention and say this is really cool, this is really unique. And of course, that's going to follow in when we talk about the gameplay, and we're going to talk about the different game modes. Okay, so let's talk about the gameplay, and first, of course, when we're talking about the gameplay, we need to talk about what the game actually is, and it's an online first-person shooter, free-to-play, and that's pretty much it right there. You have a couple of arenas in different game modes, and you go and you fight with people or against people. And what I mean by with people is there's actually this really unique and awesome game mode. It's a horde-ish game mode, but every 5 sort of levels, you have to fight a boss, and it's a really awesome cooperative experience, especially since you can customize your mech, and then you can play with people, and you all have your sort of different things that you're bringing to the table, and you're trying to conquer this and try to get as far as you can, because it is a survival situation. You can go as far as you can. I got to, I think, level 15, and it was actually really challenging, and it was really cool to see how the different mechs play with each other and how they can work together. And it gave me some ideas for, bringing it into the deathmatch. And there's also team deathmatch, and then also there's another game mode which is probably one of my favorite. It's Siege, and then there's also missile control. So let's talk about Siege. Siege is really, really cool. Siege, basically, you have to take control of an anti-air station, and this anti-air station does damage to the airships in the air, which are fighting and taking over. Like they're just doing damage and being epic. And they also damage units on the ground. They shoot you from above. So you want this anti-air so that it destroys the enemies, and then you can have your airship go to the enemy base and destroy their base. And that's how that works. You do damage to the enemy base, and basically you do this by fighting the enemy on the ground and also taking over this anti-air station. So in a way, it's like King of the Hill, but it's so much deeper, and it has this rich, original idea that envelops it, and it's just really awesome. And I really have to say that kind of follows through with everything in Hawken. Everything is at the basic level, it's pretty simple. It's kind of Call of Duty-ish, but there's so much more going on with it, and it's awesome that it's free to play and that you get to see this as soon as you play the game. You don't have to spend a ton of money. You can just jump in and have fun. That's why we like free to plays, and I think Hawken really embodies all of that. And outside the different game modes, there are things like you can customize, you can do the paint jobs, switch out different weapons, you can just get entirely new mechs. And it's really awesome what this game does, is instead of you having to unlock every individual little part, you actually are given entire mechs, or basically they're essentially like classes, and you get these mechs every couple of levels so that you can use and test them, and then you can take these sort of stenciled mechs and then tweak them, which then of course will cost experience, will cost money, and you can tweak them in various ways. Like I said, you can customize the different weapons, you can change the shape, the different parts, legs, cockpit, things like that. You can also change the abilities, because every mech has sort of different abilities. Another thing that you can do to customize your experience in Hawken is you actually have these sort of ability points, or it's like a talent tree where you can move through and and change your, like, you can increase your abilities, you can increase sort of like your mech's just all in all, like, stability, stuff like that. Or there's also even another layer added to that where you can actually go and tune your mech specifically for very individual things. So maybe you want him to turn very fast or move faster in the air, stuff like that. You can spec it to do that. It's a little bit similar to Armored Core's tuning, but not as complex and definitely not as deep, but definitely still as influential, and it's still just as fun. So very, very cool that they have that. There's a ton of customization in this game, and I really, really enjoy that. That's why I like Blacklight Retribution. So if you like the customization of Blacklight Retribution, you're going to have fun coming over into Hawken, which is another thing I want to talk about. It is a first-person shooter, so don't get me wrong. It's not like Mech Warrior Online. Mech Warrior Online is way slower paced, and yes, this game is slower paced like compared to something like Call of Duty, but it's still a first-person shooter. But one thing to mention is that aiming in this game is actually very, very hard, and by hard I don't mean just like Tribes Ascend kind of hard. I mean hard because you have to realize that your mech is moving, and you have to take into account the momentum of your mech. Because if your mech, it's bouncing around and doing all this other stuff, it's not aiming exactly where you're pointing it all the time. So you're gonna have to counter that with your skill. It's basically like you have a recoil just from walking. You have recoil from flying, recoil from getting hit. It's actually very difficult to aim projectiles, throw them perfectly. So, yeah, while mechs are moving very slow and everything, you have a ton of recoil, and it feels very good. It feels very impactful when you actually kill something and when you also get blown up. It feels like you kind of get messed up, and it's just a lot of fun just to sit in the game and play it. Just kind of role play for a second, because the cockpit, let's talk about the cockpit. The cockpit is great, and yeah, it does kind of hinder your view and everything, but it looks great, it feels great, and the entire experience of playing Hawken is just a really nice one. It's a really nice experience. It's really unique, I think. And for me, Hawken is definitely a great game. I think it's great for a free-to-play. I think it's great for a game in general. I'd probably spend I would say 20 bucks on this just right away. I wanted to, and it's really good. It's really fun to customize and show up and then be #1. There's things like you can have taunts and stuff and emotes and other cute little things like that, and you can have different repair bots. And repair bots, the repair mechanic is really cool. Say in a game like Call of Duty, you can run behind a wall and you kind of automatically heal over time. In this game, it doesn't really work like that. You have to actually activate a repair mode. A little repair bot comes by and it heals you. So you have to actively actually do everything in the game. Just like everything is very risk and reward. Boosting is very risky because you run out of fuel. Even shooting is very risky because you don't have ammo, say. You have fuel, and then you can overheat. So if you overheat, then you can't use your weapons for a certain amount of time. Of course, there's an ability that can cool you down, but still. There's a whole lot to the game that you're going to have to get used to. It's definitely different from other first-person shooters, and definitely worth a try. So go ahead and try it, guys. You have my seal of approval. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I really enjoyed this game, and I hope you do too. So leave in the comments if you do play it and tell me why you like it, or if you dislike it. We'll talk about it, okay? Thank you for watching. I'm Skylant Shore with FreeMMOStation, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.